Joining us now is the Majority Leader of the U.S. House of Representatives, Republican Congressman Steve Scalise. Congressman Scalise was shot and nearly killed in 2017 by a gunman who opened fire as the Republican congressional baseball game held a practice. Mr. Leader, thank you so much for joining us. I imagine this is very difficult to experience, just hearing that description and these events. What was your reaction when you got word about this?
Well, good morning, John. And yeah, you know, when I saw especially the unedited video with the audio yesterday, you know, it brought back a lot of memories, a lot of emotions. You hear the pops of the shots, and that's a lot of what we sounded like on the ball field in 2017. My first thoughts were prayers for Donald Trump because he went down. We didn't know initially how bad it was. When you heard the word "shooter down," that's what they said on the ball field for us. And and there was a shootout there with police, Capitol Police. David Bailey and Crystal Griner were heroes that saved me and so many others that day. You saw the heroes yesterday, the police who rushed to President Trump while the shots were being fired. And it just shows you the bravery and heroism of those men and women who put their lives on the line to protect other people. They performed quickly yesterday to hopefully save what could have been a much worse situation. And our prayers go out for the victim, the dead person who went to a rally, a political rally, and didn't make it home that night, as well as the others who were injured. So, a lot of emotions and thoughts, but clearly, it's one more example that, this hypercharged rhetoric just needs to be dialed down. Let's talk about our differences. We have big differences. But this demonization of Donald Trump as a person that's been going on for years, it has to stop, because all it takes is one person to act on it, like we saw yesterday, for something catastrophic to happen.
As a leader, and with your extraordinary personal experience with this kind of moment, what should a member of Congress, a person in leadership who is in the political space, regardless of their party, what should they say? What should their posture be in this kind of a moment?
Yeah, and I talked to a lot of colleagues yesterday, and, we communicate a lot, text, call each other. When things like this happen, it's a moment where people get angry, and there's surely a lot of anger, but there's also this introspection. What can we do better? And I think, look, clearly we have differences politically. That's not going to change. We don't stop talking about those, but frankly, we ought to get back to just talking about those political differences. And, what are our policies and approaches to improving the economy and improving the lives of people and securing the border and achieving peace in the world? Those should be the front and center issues, not the personality of the person that's going to carry that out. And I think that's the biggest difference. We don't need to demonize somebody else to make our point. And frankly, if you're trying to assassinate the character or the actual person themselves that you disagree with, maybe you've lost the argument. Get back to focusing on the arguments, on the differences that we have, but not the character assassination that we've just become too accustomed to.
Finally, how does that appear in practice? Because we heard in your case, many of similar things were said while you were recovering and everybody was praying for your recovery. How does this happen in practice? Do the speeches at the convention next week and at the Democratic convention need to be tested on against a new standard about whether they take out those personal references or these implicit views about the other side, that they are evil? Help me understand how, in concrete terms, your colleagues would follow through on your suggestion.
Yeah, and I think moments like yesterday just kind of refocus everybody, reset everything. In the shooting in 2017, for a long period of time, there did seem to be a dialing down, and hopefully with yesterday we see a dialing down again. And it's got to happen not just with elected officials. Surely it starts there, but with the media also, with late night show hosts. When you turn on a late night show and it's no longer comedy, it's a constant 10-minute barrage against a single person. Those comparisons with Hitler, that kind of stuff, that needs to stop too. I think everybody's got to look in the mirror and say, can we kind of refocus what we like or don't like about what's happening in politics, and maybe not focus it all on an individual?
Congressman Steve Scalise, thank you so much for being with us.